Good evening, students. Today our topic is measurement and experimentation. This is the first chapter of physics. So we will discuss here the measurement and experimentation chapter. Under this chapter we will discuss measurements. What is measurement actually? What is measurement? There are different process units, different kind of units, and some physical quantities, their units, their symbols, and some exercises. And the session will complete. Actually this chapter is divided into your three parts, 1A, 1B and 1C. In this session we will complete only 1A part, and in the next two sessions we will complete 1B and 1C respectively. Clear? So in this session the 1A part we will complete. So the first term is your measurement. First term is your measurement. Now we will study what actually measurement is. So by this term measurement, you can easily understand that it is a physical quantity which is used to measure. It is a physical quantity, or it is a process. It is a process to measure any physical quantity. It is a process which is used to measure any physical quantity. Physical quantity means length, mass, time. Clear? These are your physical quantity. Volume, area, these are physical quantities. So measurement is a process, or measurement is a tool. It is used to measure any physical quantities. Clear? Now what is the definition of measurement? The definition of measurement is, it is the process of comparison of the given physical quantity with the known standard quantity of the same nature. It is a process of comparison of the given physical quantity with the known standard quantity of the same nature. That means you have one given physical quantity, you have one given physical quantity and another known standard quantity and known standard quantity. Now measurement is actually the process of comparison. It is actually the process of comparison of the given physical quantity with your known standard quantity. Clear? It is a process of comparison of given physical quantity with the known standard quantity. So it is all about measurement. Now under measurement there is another subtopic, that is unit. What is unit? What is unit? Now the standard quantity used to measure and express the physical quantity is called the unit. So recall the previous word, that is under measurement you have one given physical quantity and one known standard quantity. One given physical quantity and another one known standard quantity. So unit is what is unit? It is the standard quantity used to measure and express the given physical quantity. To measure and express the given physical quantity. It is the standard quantity which is used to measure and express the given physical quantity. That means you will express the given physical quantity under the standard quantity. That will be your unit. That will be termed as unit. By the help of this unit we will measure different physical quantities like volume, like area, like length, like mass, like time. With the help of this unit actually we will measure these physical quantities. Clear? So what is the definition of unit? The unit is the quantity of constant magnitude. Unit is the quantity of constant magnitude which is used to measure the magnitude of other quantities of the same nature. It is used to measure the magnitude of the other quantities of the same nature. That is your unit. Now under unit, this unit is classified further into two parts. This unit is further classified into two part or two category. One is your fundamental unit. One is your fundamental unit. This is also termed as basic unit. This is also termed as basic unit. And the another one is your derived unit. Another one is your derived unit. Now what is fundamental unit or basic unit? A fundamental unit or basic unit is one that is independent of any other unit. A fundamental unit or basic unit is one which is not dependent, that is which is independent to any other unit. That means it doesn't depend on any other unit. Fundamental unit or basic unit doesn't depend on any other unit. It has a own existence. fundamental unit or basic unit has its own existence. It doesn't depend to any other unit. Clear? Or it cannot be changed or related to any other unit. It cannot be changed or related to any other unit, number one, and it doesn't depend to any other unit. It has a own existence. It has its own existence. So that is your fundamental unit or basic unit. So there are all total 7 fundamental units. There are all total 7 fundamental units. Clear? Number 1 is your length, number 2 mass, number 3 time, number 4 temperature, number 5 luminous intensity, number 6 electric current, and number 7 amount of substance. Clear? All total there are 7 fundamental units. Clear? There are all total 7 fundamental units or basic units. Number 1 is your length, number 2 is your mass, number 2 is your time, number 3 is your time, number 4 in temperature, number 5 luminous intensity, number 6 electric current, and number 7 amount of substance. Generally mass, length and time, these 3 are taken as fundamental unit. Generally these 3 are taken as fundamental unit, but apart from these 3 there are 4 others. There are 4 others also fundamental units. So all total there are 7 fundamental unit or basic unit we know. So what is the next come to derived unit. Next come to derived unit. The derived units are the units which depend on fundamental unit. Derived units are those units which depend on fundamental unit. Derived units are those units that depends on fundamental units, or it can be expressed. That means derived unit can be expressed in terms of fundamental unit. That means these unit depend on fundamental units, and this unit can be expressed in terms of fundamental unit. Clear? So derived unit, what is the example of derived unit? That means volume. Clear? Area, perimeter, all these are derived units. Now how volume is related to fundamental unit? How volume is related to fundamental unit? Now volume means what is volume? Volume means length into breadth into height. We know there is volume means length into breadth into height. Now these 3, that means length, breadth and height, all this is related to length. Actually length, breadth, height, these 3, volume equals to length into breadth into height. That means length, breadth and height, these 3 actually the measurement. Clear? These 3 actually the measurement of length. Length, breadth, height, these 3 actually the measurement of length. That means volume is indirectly depends on length. Volume is indirectly depends on length. Length is your fundamental unit. That means derived unit depends on fundamental unit. Now in case of area is also, we can express area as side into side or length into breadth. Now this length into breadth or side into side actually the measurement of length. Area equals to side into side or length into breadth. Now this length into breadth or side into side is actually the measurement of length, and length is your fundamental unit. That means area, that is your derived unit, because it depends on length, which is a fundamental unit. Clear? So these are 2, there is fundamental unit and derived unit. Next is your there are 3 methods or 3 nomenclature we should know by which units are expressed. 3 systems actually. 3 systems. One is your CGS system, one is your FPS system, and another one is your MKS system or SI system. One is your CGS system, one is your CGS system, another one is your FPS system, and the third one is your MKS system or SI system. Clear? Now every physical quantity has unit under these 3 systems. Every physical quantity has unit under these 3 systems. Now suppose we are talking about length. So in CGS system its unit will be centimeter. Clear? Its unit will be a centimeter in CGS system, and in FPS system its unit will be foot. and in MK system or SI system its unit will be meter. Now if we take suppose mass, it is another physical quantity. So in CGS system its unit will be gram, its CGS system its unit will be gram, and in FPS system its unit will be pound, that is LB, and in MK system its unit will be kg. Clear? So like this there are many more: length, mass, time, therefore area, volume, temperature, luminous intensity, perimeter. Every physical quantity has its unit in CGS system, FPS system and MK system. So we should learn these units under different system. In your book page number 2 there are 7 fundamental units or fundamental quantity given. Just read those fundamental quantities. There are 7 fundamental quantities or fundamental units are given, so read those fundamental units very carefully, and those are important for your exam. Number 1 is your length, unit is given as mass. Number 1 is your length, unit is given as meter. Number 2 is your mass, unit is given as kilogram. Number 3 is your time, unit given as second. Number 4 temperature, unit given as Kelvin. Number 6 luminous intensity, it's given as candela. This is important, luminous intensity, its unit is candela. Electric current, its unit is ampere. Amount of substance, its unit is mole. Clear? So these are 7 fundamental quantities you study from your book. Next part is your first we will study unit of length. First we will study unit of length. First we will study unit of length. That means under unit of length we will study first SI unit. We will first study SI unit, that is in SI unit of length is your meter. In SI system unit of length is your meter. Now apart from this unit, that is apart from meter, there are various sub units. Apart from this unit meter there are various sub units of length. Clear? So the first sub unit is your centimeter, or you can short in, or you can briefly write as cm. Number 2 is your millimeter, that is mm. Number 3 is your micron, that is mu, and lastly number 4 is your nanometer, that is nm. So these 4 are your sub units of length. Now you will just read or just know the relation among these various sub units, because these are important for your numericals. Now first come to centimeter, that is 1 centimeter. 1 centimeter will be equals to, if you convert it into meter, that means 1 by 100 meter, that means 10 to the power minus 2 meter. That means 1 centimeter equal to 10 to the minus 2 meter. Now coming to millimeter, 1 millimeter equals to your 1 millimeter equals to your 1 by 1000 meter. 1 by 1000 meter, that means 10 to the power minus 3 meter. This is m. Now coming to mu, this is important, coming to mu, that is micron. So 1 micron equal to 10 to the power minus 6 meter. Just read this value because this is important for your numerical. 1 micron equal to 10 to the power minus 6 meter, or conversely you can write 10 to the power minus 4 centimeter. Clear? Or you can write this is equals to 10 to the power minus 3 nanometer, or you can write this is equals to 10 to the power minus 3 millimeter. 10 to the power minus 3 millimeter. That means 1 micron equal to 10 to the power minus 6 meter, which is equals to 10 to the power minus 4 centimeter, and which is equals to 10 to the power minus 3 millimeter. Clear? Now last is your nanometer. So 1 nanometer equals to 10 to the power minus 9 meter. This is 9. 1 nanometer equals to 10 to the power minus 9 meter. Clear? So these are the subunits of length. Subunits of length: 1 is your centimeter, number 2 millimeter, number 3 micrometer and or micron, and number 4 is your nanometer. Number 3 is your micron, or it can be said as micrometer. It can also be said as mu, that is micron, or it has another name, that is micrometer. Mu, that is micrometer, or you can say this is micron. Clear? Now next, these are the sub units of length, and they are different relation, how they are related to each other. Next, multiple units of meter. There are some multiple units. Usually these are used for large lengths. Usually these are used for large length. So multiple units of lengths are this is used for large length actually. Now SI unit of length is your meter, but meter is actually used for smaller length. For larger length, generally as a multiple unit, it is considered as kilometer. This is for your larger length, and meter is used for smaller length. So we know that is 1 kilometer. 1 kilometer equals to 10 to the power 3 meter. This is the relation between kilometer and meter. Clear? Now this kilometer, that is km, shortly termed as km. This is the multiple unit of meter. Now if we talk about non-metric units, these are the metric units. Kilometer is the metric units. Now if we talk about non-metric units of length, that means if we want to calculate, or if you want to measure the distance between the two heavenly bodies, kilometer is considered too small. Now if we want to measure the distance between the two heavenly bodies, kilometer is too small. That means if we want to measure the distance between two planets, or if we want to measure the distance between sun and moon, that means two heavenly bodies, in that case kilometer will be too small. Clear? So to measure the distance between two heavenly bodies, three common units are taken. That will be termed as non-metric units. So there the three common units are: one is your astronomical unit, that is AU. Number 2 is your light year, and number 3 is your parsec. Clear? Now what is astronomical unit? Astronomical unit is used to measure the distance between two heavenly bodies. Actually these three are used to measure between two heavenly bodies. So we will just know the value of these three non-metric units. Now one astronomical unit is equal to the one astronomical unit. The value of this is equal to the 1 point. Just memorize this value. Its value is 1.496 into 10 to the power 11 meter. One astronomical unit equals to 1.496 into 10 to the power 11 meter. Clear? So it is actually one astronomical unit. This is equal to the mean distance between Earth and Sun. It is used to measure the distance, or to measure the mean distance between Earth and Sun. Clear? So one astronomical unit equals to 1.496 and 10 to the power 11 meter. Just memorize this value. Next, light year. Light year is generally written as LY. In short, light year is written as LY. That means light year. So light year is the distance travelled by light in vacuum. What is light year? Light year is the distance travelled by light in vacuum in 1 year. That means in 1 year, the distance travelled by light in vacuum is your 1 light year. Clear? So what is the value of light year? Now light year equals to the value of this is your 9. This is 6. The value of this is equals to 9.46 into 10 to the power 12 kilometer. Just memorize this value. That means this is 1 light year. 1 light year equals to 9.46 into 10 to the power 12 kilometer. If you want to do this in meter, then just multiply 10 to the power 3, and this will be your meter. That means 10 to the power 3. If you multiply this into 10 to the power 3, that means 1000. This will be 10 to the power 15. That means 9.46 into 10 to the power 15 meter. Clear? So this is the value of 1 light year. Now next is your parsec, the third non-metric unit to measure the distance between two heavenly bodies is your parsec. Now 1 parsec is 1, the value is now 1 parsec. 1 parsec is, what is the value of 1 parsec? 1 parsec is 3.26 light year. 1 parsec is 3.26 light year. Clear? This is the relation between parsec and light year. And there is another value of 1 parsec. This is equals to 1 parsec is equal to 3.08 into 10 to the power 16 meter. This is relation between parsec and meter. That means 1 parsec equal to 3.08 into 10 to the power 16 meter or 3.26 light year. Clear? So this is the 1 parsec. So 1 parsec is the distance from where the semi-major axis orbit of Earth subtends an angle of 1 second. What does it mean? 1 parsec is the distance where the semi-major axis of orbit of Earth subtends an angle of 1 second. This is the definition of 1 parsec. So all these are non-metric units. All these are your bigger units. All these are bigger units. There is non-metric units. Now there are some smaller units also of length. There are some smaller units also of length. Smaller units also. So number 1 smaller unit is your angstrom. It is represented as this. It is angstrom. Angstrom is the 10 to the power minus 10th part of a meter. What is angstrom? It is the 10 to the power minus 10th part of a meter. Clear? Actually angstrom is used to measure the radius of an electron or the distance between the two molecules. This is where the angstrom is used to measure the distance between the two molecules or the radius of orbit of electron. In this case, very small unit. To measure a very small unit, angstrom is used. It is represented by this. So what is the relation between angstrom and meter and angstrom and centimeter? There is 1 angstrom equals to, this is the 10 to the power minus 10th part of a meter. This is the 10 to the power minus 10th part of a meter. That means 1 angstrom equal to 10 to the power minus 10 meter. 1 angstrom equal to 10 to the power minus 10 meter. Clear? And this is also equal to, if you want to convert it in centimeter, this will be equals to 10 to the power minus 8 centimeter. Clear? And if you want to convert it into nanometer, that will be equals to 10 to the power minus 1 nanometer. So this is the relation. Clear? That means 1 nanometer equal to 1 nanometer will be equal to 10 angstrom. So these are the relation of angstrom. These are the relation of angstrom. Clear? Next, so angstrom is done. This is the smaller unit of length. Another one smaller unit is your Fermi. Another one smaller unit is your Fermi. It is represented by small f. It is the 10 to the power minus 15th part of a meter. Fermi is the 10 to the power minus 15 part of a meter. That means 1 Fermi equal to 10 to the power minus 15 meter. This is the relation. Clear? So these two are the smaller unit of length. Clear? So length is complete. There are different units, non-metric units, bigger units, smaller units. Now next physical quantity is your mass. Next physical quantity is your mass. So at first the SI system, under SI system, the unit of mass is your kg, that means kilogram. Under SI system, its unit is kg or it is termed as kilogram. Clear? Now like length, mass has also different subunits. Mass has also different subunits. So number 1 subunit is your gram. Number 1 subunit of mass is gram, and number 2 is your milligram. Number 2 is your milligram. So it is represented by small g, it is represented by small mg. Clear? Now what is the relation between gram? Now 1 gram equals to, we know that is 1 gram equals to 1 by 1000 kg. That means 1 by 1000 part. 1 by 1000 kg. That means 10 to the power minus 3 kg. This is the relation between gram and kg. Clear? Because we know 1 kg equals to 1000 gram. Now milligram, 1 milligram equals to 10 to the power minus 6 kg, because 1 milligram is the 10 to the power minus 6 part of kilogram. 1 milligram is the 10 to the power minus 6 part of kilogram. That means 1 mg equals to 10 to the power minus 6 kg. 1 milligram equals to 10 to the power minus 6 kg, or you can say it is 10 to the power minus 3 gram. That means 1 milligram equal to 10 to the power minus 6 kg, or you can say 1 milligram equals to 10 to the power minus 3 gram. Clear? Next, multiple units. Next, like length, mass has also multiple units. So what are the multiple units of mass? Multiple units. What are the multiple units of mass? First multiple unit is your quintal, and second multiple unit is your metric ton. Number one is your quintal, and second one is your metric ton. Second one is your metric ton. So these two are used for bigger units. These two, that is quintal and metric ton, are used for bigger units of mass. These two units are measured as bigger units of mass. Now we will study the relation. That means, what is quintal? Quintal is the 1 by 100th part of kilogram. 1 by 100, that means 1 by 100 times, or 100 times part of a kilogram. That means 1 quintal equals to 100 kg. 1 by 100th part, or you can say 100 times of a kilogram. 1 quintal equals to 100 kg. Clear? Now metric tons, 1 metric ton will be equals to 1000 kg. That means it is 1000 times of kilogram. It is 1000 times of kilogram. So 1 quintal equals to 1000 kg. 1 quintal equals to 100 kg, and if we take 1 metric ton, this is metric ton. 1 metric ton will be equals to 1000 kg. 1 metric ton will be equals to 1000 kg. 1 quintal equals to 100 kg, and 1 metric ton will be equals to 1000 kg. So these two are the bigger quantity, or taken as a bigger unit. Now non-metric units. What are the non-metric unit of mass? Like length, mass also have non-metric units. Non-metric units. What are the non-metric units? Non-metric unit, there are two non-metric unit. One is your atomic mass unit, termed as AMU, or it is one is your atomic mass unit, or it can be also said as the unified atomic mass unit. One is your atomic mass unit, this is MU, and another one is the unified atomic mass unit. Unified atomic mass unit, it is termed as U. Actually both this AMU and U are same. Clear? But in the higher aspect we will categorize non-metric units as AMU and unified atomic mass unit, but actually these two are considered as same. These two are considered as same. That means atomic mass unit and unified atomic mass unit, that is U, are considered as same. That means, what is the definition of 1 AMU? 1 AMU is the 1 by 12th mass, 1 by 12th of the mass of the one carbon atom. 1 AMU or 1 unified atomic mass unit is the 1 by 12th of the mass of the one carbon atom. That means we can write 1 AMU or 1 U equals to, it is the 1 by 12th mass of one carbon atom. 1 by 12th mass of one carbon atom is known as 1 AMU or 1 U. Clear? Its value is your 1.66 into 10 to the power minus 27 kg. 1.66 into 10 to the power minus 27 kg. Clear? Now for measurement of large heavenly bodies, for measurement of large heavenly bodies, another non-metric unit is used, which is termed as solar mass. This is used for measuring the large heavenly bodies. Now one solar mass is equals to 2 into 10 to the power 30 kg. 2 into 10 to the power 30 kg. Clear? One solar mass equals to 2 into 10 to the power 30 kg. So these are the non-metric units, smaller units and bigger units of mass. Now last is your, after length and mass, last is your time. So SI unit is second. SI unit of time is your second. Clear? Now it has also smaller units, non-metric units, bigger units like length and mass. Clear? It has also smaller units, bigger units and larger units like length and mass. So first, smaller units. At first we will discuss about smaller units. What are the smaller units of time? The most common units of smaller unit are, one is your millisecond, microsecond and nanosecond. One is your microsecond, millisecond, nanosecond and another one is shake. Clear? So there are all total 4. One is your millisecond, another one is your microsecond, one is your millisecond, another one is your microsecond, third one is your shake and the fourth one is your nanosecond. Now millisecond is expressed as ms. This is millisecond. Microsecond is expressed as µs. Shake is represented as shake as it is, and nanosecond is represented as ns. Now they are related to each other. We will know the relation, that is we will memorize the value. Now 1 microsecond, that is ms, 1 microsecond or 1 ms is equals to 10 to the power minus 3 second. Clear? This is 1 millisecond ms, 1 millisecond or ms equal to 10 to the power minus 3 second. 1 microsecond, that is 1 µs, this is equals to 10 to the power minus 6 second, and 1 shake, shake, that is 1 shake, this is equals to 10 to the power minus 8 second, and 1 nanosecond, that is ns, 1 nanosecond or 1 ns, it is equal to 10 to the power minus 9 second. So these are the smaller units of time. Next, bigger units. Next, if we talk about bigger units, of time, then there are many bigger units. All total there are actually 10 bigger units of time. Number 1 is your minute, number 2 is your hour, number 3 is your day, number 4 will be your month, number 5 will be your lunar month. Clear? Number 6 will be your year, number 7 will be your leap year, number 8 will be your decade, number 9 will be your century, and lastly number 10 will be your, this is the biggest unit, millennium. So all total there are 10 bigger units of time and they are interrelated with each other. Clear? That means like 1 minute equal to, we know that is 60 second. We know that is 1 minute equal to 60 second. Clear? 1 hour equal to 60 minute or 1 hour equal to 3600 second. Like this, 1 day equal to 24 hours. That means 86,400 second. Clear? Like this. Next, we will just cover this new term, that is lunar month, because you know minute, hour, day, year, leap year, these 4 terms you will you are already aware of that. So we will discuss only millennium, decade, century and lunar month, because these are new for you. Clear? So what is lunar month? What is lunar month? Lunar month actually it is the based on calendar or period of revolution of earth around the sun. It is based on the calendar, on the period of revolution on the rotation of earth around sun. Clear? Generally lunar month is calculated as per the revolution of earth around sun. Clear? That means 1 month is the time of 1 lunar cycle. This is equals to 29.5 days. 1 lunar month is equals to 29.5 days. Actually this is calculated on the basis of, it is actually, that is the time in which the moon completes the 1 revolution around earth. What is lunar month? Lunar month actually is the time in which the moon completes the 1 revolution around the earth. This is your actually lunar month, and this is equals to approximately 29.5 days. That means the moon will take 29.5 days to revolve 1 time around earth, to revolve 1 time around earth or complete 1 revolution around earth. This is your lunar month. This is nearly 29.5 days, or you can write nearly 4 weeks. 29.5 days or nearly 4 weeks. This is your lunar month. Clear? Next, leap year. You know what is leap year? That means leap year, that means 366 days, 1 day extra in February month, that is 29 days instead of 28 days, and 1 day extra if you talk the whole year, that means 366 days instead of 365 days, that is your leap year. That means 1 day extra in February month, that is your leap year. Now decade means 10 years. Decade means 10 years. That means 1 decade means 10 years. 1 decade means 10 years. Next, century means 100 years. 1 century means 100 years. This is your century. 1 century means 100 years. And lastly, millennium. 1 millennium means 1000 years. 1 millennium means 1000 years. This is the biggest among these bigger units. 1 millennium means 1000 years. So these are the bigger units of your time. Clear? Next, if we these are the length, mass and time. This is the fundamental unit actually, or basic unit. If we talk about derived unit, some derived unit which are calculated on the basis of fundamental unit, the first important derived unit is your acceleration. Acceleration means, what is acceleration? It is means velocity divided by time. It is velocity divided by time. That means velocity, that means v, time, that means t. So time is required to calculate acceleration or to measure acceleration. That means acceleration is dependent on time, that is fundamental unit. That means acceleration is a derived quantity or derived unit. So those quantity which depends on fundamental quantity actually are the derived quantity. So acceleration is your derived quantity. Now acceleration is your velocity by time. What is the unit of velocity? The unit of velocity is your meter per second. And what is the unit of time? Unit of time is second. So actually acceleration unit is your meter per second square, or you can write meter second to the power minus 2. This is the process how we represent the unit of different physical quantity. Clear? Next, suppose next physical quantity, next quantity is given as pressure. Next is your pressure. So pressure means force by area. Pressure is actually equals to force by area. Now what is the unit of force? Unit of force is your, what is the unit of force? Newton per meter square. Unit of force is your Newton per unit of force is your kilogram meter per second square actually. This is the unit of pressure. This is the unit of force. So it will be represented as your pressure. So unit of force is your Newton. Unit of force is your Newton and area is your meter square. So pressure will have pressure, unit of pressure is Newton per meter square, or you can write Newton meter to the power minus 2, and this is termed as Pascal. This is termed as Pascal. That means pressure, unit of pressure is Newton per meter square. Unit of pressure is your Newton per meter square, or termed as Pascal. Clear? So there are many more physical quantities, and we should know the different units of these physical quantities. In your exercise book, all total there are 15 or 20 physical quantities are given, and their derived unit, their definition and their abbreviation is given. Just try to extract those physical quantities using this formula. Clear? So these are all your derived unit or of physical quantities. Next we will solve some exercise question from this first part, that is your exercise 1A part, especially some questions. So from exercise 1A, question number 4 from exercise 1A, the question says name the three fundamental quantities. Name the three fundamental quantities. Three fundamental quantities are your length, mass and time. Three fundamental quantities are your length, mass and time. So you will write like this: length, mass and time. These three are your fundamental quantities. Clear? Next, question number 12. How is nanometer related to angstrom? How is nanometer related to angstrom? Nanometer is related to angstrom like this: 1 nanometer equals to 10 angstrom. 1 nanometer equals to 10 angstrom. Clear? Next, question number 15. Question number 15, you have to complete the word, you have to complete the sentence. That means 15A says 1 light year. 1 light year equals to dash meter. 1 light year equals to dash meter. That means 1 light year equals to, value is 9.46 into 10 to the power 50. Clear? Next, 1 meter equals to dash angstrom. 1 meter will be equals to your 10 to the power 10 angstrom. Clear? Next question is 1 meter equals to dash micron. 1 meter equals to dash micron. This will be equals to 10 to the power 6 micron. Clear? Next is your 1 micron. 1 micron equals to dash angstrom. 1 micron equals to dash angstrom. So this will be 10,000 angstrom. This will be 10,000 angstrom, or you can write 10 to the power 4 angstrom. 10 to the power 4 angstrom or 10,000 angstrom. Next, 1 Fermi. 1 Fermi equals to dash meter. So 1 Fermi equals to 10 to the power minus 15 meter. Clear? Next, question number 22. Question number 22 says the year 2020 will have February of 29 days. Question number 22 says the year 2020 will have February of 29 days. Is this statement true? The statement is true because 2020 is your leap year. 2020 is your leap year. That means February month will have one extra day, that is 29 days. So the statement is your true statement. Clear? Next, 23. Question number 23 says what is a lunar month? Question number 23 says what is a lunar month? So what is the definition of lunar month? It is the time in which the moon completes one revolution. Lunar month is the time in which the moon completes actually one revolution around the earth. This is actually your lunar month, and lunar month is equals to 29.5 days or approximately 4 weeks. Clear? Next, some numericals are given. There are some numericals are given. So first numericals is question number 1. First numerical is your question number 1. Question number 1 says the wavelength of a light of a particular color is 5800 angstrom. The wavelength of light of a particular color given as 5800 angstrom. Express this in nanometer and meter. express this wavelength, that means 5800 angstrom, we will express this wavelength first in nanometer and then in meter. So what is the relation between nanometer and angstrom? The relation is 1 nanometer equals to 10 angstrom. Clear? So therefore 5800 angstrom equals to 5800 angstrom equals to 5800 divided by 10 nanometer. Clear? That means this is equals to 580 nanometer, because this is the relation between nanometer and angstrom. So 5800 equals to 5800 angstrom equals to 580 nanometer. Next, in meter, we have to express in meter. Now what is the relation between angstrom and meter? What is the relation between angstrom and meter? 1 angstrom equals to 10 to the power minus 10 meter. 1 angstrom equals 10 to the power minus 10 meter. Therefore 5800 angstrom will be equals to 10 to the power minus 10 meter. Clear? 1 angstrom equals to 10 to the power minus 10 meter. This is the relation between angstrom and meter. So we have to convert 5800 angstrom into meter. That will be equals to 5800 angstrom equals to 5800 into 10 to the power minus 10 meter. 5800 into 10 to the power minus 10 meter. Clear? That means, so 5800 into 10 to the minus 10 meter, that means we can represent it as 5.8 into 10 to the power minus 7 meter. 5.8 into 10 to the power minus 7 meter. Clear? So this is question number 1, numerical. Next, question number 4. Next, question number 4 says, the wavelength of light is 589 nanometer. The wavelength of light is 589 nanometer. What is its wavelength in angstrom? We have to represent the wavelength of this light is in angstrom. So 589 nanometer. Now we know that 1 nanometer is equals to 10 angstrom. So 589 nanometer will be equals to 589 into 10 angstrom. That means 5890 angstrom. Clear? Next, question number 5. Numerical question number 5. Question number 5 says the mass of an oxygen atom is 16 U. The mass of an oxygen atom is 16 U. It is given as 16 U. Find its mass in kg. We have to find out the mass of oxygen atom, that is 16 U into kg. Clear? So that means we have to know the relation between U and kg. That means unified atomic mass unit. U is unified atomic mass unit. U and AMU both are actually same. That is atomic mass unit, which is represented as AMU, and unified atomic mass unit, that is represented as U. Both are same. So we will know first the relation between U and kg. So 1 U, that is 1 unified atomic mass unit, 1 U equals to 1.66 into 1, this is decimal, 1.66 into 10 to the power minus 27 kg. Clear? Therefore 16 U will be equals to 16 into 1.66 into 10 to the power minus 27 kg. Clear? Therefore if you multiply 16 into 1.66, you will get 26.56 into 10 to the power minus 27 kg. So it can be also represented as, if you put this decimal into one digit before, that means 2.656, and the power will be 10 to the power minus 26 kg. That means 2.656 into 10 to the power minus 26 kg will be your answer. Clear? So the rest of the questions, that means remaining questions from exercise 1A, will do in homework with numerical, and this session is complete. Exercise 1A is complete. In the next session we will discuss about exercise 1B and exercise 1C and solve some numericals, and the chapter will be complete. Thank you.